Oh my god, guys, Canada is freaking amazing. If Donald Trump wins the US presidential election, I'm probably going to move to Canada. I say that kind of jokingly, but also kind of seriously, because Donald Trump, Canada, but in all seriousness, guys, this last weekend I took a trip to Canada, and oh my god, it was amazing. I took the ferry boat from Seattle up to Victoria, and it was such a blast there. I spent 3 nights there, and let me tell you, if you guys have never been to Canada before, or if you are from Canada, you're already totally aware of how awesome the country you live in is, or at least Victoria is. It's the only part of Canada I've really ever been to or explored, but I assume the rest of Canada is also pretty cool. But the main point of the video is I want to share with you guys some of the cool stuff I brought back with me from Canada. Now, none of it is really like Canadian, I guess. Like, I didn't bring back maple candies or anything like that, although, oh my god, I love maple candies. But, no, I actually went, and I didn't know this, but in Victoria, Canada, there are a lot of, like, geek stores and hobby stores and toy stores and that sort of thing. And so I actually came back with a lot more stuff than I expected to buy, especially because the exchange rate is so good from the US to Canada right now, for the US anyway. So everything there was a lot cheaper than I'm used to paying for stuff, which was pretty awesome. So yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys a few of the things that I got. So there's 5 main things that I got that I think I'm gonna go ahead and show off on the video. The first one is this, a copy of Pokemon Heart Gold. Now, like, this is pretty cool, right? Because this is probably one of my favorite Pokemon games in the series. I remember Gold and Silver coming out, and that was my favorite gen. Like, of course, I loved Red, Blue, and Yellow, but when Gold and Silver came out, it blew my freaking mind, especially when you get to the end of the game, and you realize you can do the original 8 gyms. I was like, whoa! Like, as a kid, that was probably the coolest thing that they could ever put in the game. So, the remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver are really awesome. They're harder to come by now, especially with the Pokewalker. This version doesn't come with a Pokewalker, and it didn't come with a manual either, but I grabbed it for $30 Canadian, which I think comes out to about $26 US, which is a lot cheaper than I see copies going for on like Amazon or eBay typically. So I thought this was a pretty good find. I'm probably going to play through this in my spare time and relive my memories of Heart Gold. And the second thing I got, which is kind of cool, also kind of related to gaming a little bit, well, most of this stuff is going to be related to gaming. I got this cool board game called Machikoro. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. It's kind of like Monopoly, except it doesn't ruin your friendships. It's a lot more simpler than Monopoly, it's a lot more straightforward, and you don't have people flipping the board at the end of the game. I actually went to this cool little board games shop in Victoria. I'll try to look up the name of it and put it somewhere in the video. But it was a really cool place. You could go in, get milkshakes, and you can get sandwiches and stuff like that. And then they just have a library of board games that you can like rent and check out and just chill there and play, which I thought was one of the coolest ideas. I think we actually have a place like that here in Seattle too, but the one up in Victoria was massive. They had like every board game you could ever imagine. I played Machikoro, I played a little bit of King of Tokyo, some other stuff, but I went ahead and grabbed this game because it was just so much fun that I had to own a copy of it. So Machikoro, awesome stuff. And then the third and fourth thing kind of go together. I went into this figurine store that sold like anime figures and that sort of thing, and they had these 2 on display, so I had to get them. The first one is Titus, and the second one is Yuna from Final Fantasy X, which is freaking awesome. I believe these are Figma figurines. I'm not actually sure. They have articulation. You can pose them. You can make them swing a sword and all that cool shit. But yeah, I went ahead and grabbed these guys. They were on sale because there's some slight damage. Titus' sword is missing its little balls. He's been emasculated. I mean, it's Titus, who gives a shit, right? And then Yuna, there's some issue with her elbow joint, although I've been able to move it just fine, so I don't know what the deal with it is. So I got a really good deal on these. I think they were about 20 bucks each, which again, that's Canadian. So in US, that's probably closer to, I don't know, $18 or $17. I forget the math. But yeah, love the game. Final Fantasy X is probably my favorite Final Fantasy game, and so having these guys is pretty cool. I would have rather gotten like a Sir Orin figure or even like a Lulu figure, because those are probably my 2 favorite characters from the game. But you know, I'll sell for these. These are good, and I'll probably just put them up on my shelf somewhere and decorate my room with them, so that'll be cool. And then the 5th and final thing is actually probably the thing I least expected to buy. I never thought in a million years when I went to Victoria, Canada, that I'd be coming home with this, but lo and behold, I bought a guitar. Yeah, another guitar, as if I didn't have enough already. So yeah, it's a Cort M600 left-handed guitar. It's kind of styled after PRS, so it's kind of like a cheapy PRS copy. I say cheapy, but it's actually really nice. I love the top on this. It's kind of like a blue, in the right light, it kind of looks purplish sometimes. Maple top, I think. I don't know if that's maple. It's some sort of wood. They're all made out of wood for the most part. But yeah, really cool stuff. I love these inlays on them, and I thought I'd go ahead and end off the video actually by showing some clips of this thing in action, just so that you can kind of get a sense for it. But yeah, I went into a music store in Canada, and the guy there was super nice. Surprisingly, actually had a decent selection. He had a good handful of left-handed guitars, so really cool guy. I'll try to find the name of his store and put that somewhere in the video too, so if you're in the area, go check him out. Tell him JesusQuesadilla sent you. He probably won't know what the hell you're talking about, but you'll be happy that you stopped by anyway. But yeah, so thanks for checking the video out, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Those are my 5 really awesome things that I brought back from my trip to Canada. And just to end off, I'm going to be playing some clips for you guys. So thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!